Arca KiCk 3 album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning. Here tonight to chat about this second installment in these 4 new albums that we got from Arca on Friday. My God, I'm still even wrapping my head around this. She's been pushing out material pretty consistently, and I was expecting 1 album. No, we got 4, and this is the second of that, KiCk 3. If you're listening to this and watching this, you probably, saw my KiCk 2 review that went up last night. If not, go check it out. But for those of you who haven't, Arca by now, she's a Venezuelan-based electronic artist, I should say experimental artist. She is a visual artist. She has run the gamut between everything. Her early albums were this very ghoulish, very dark, very twisted, very formless blend of experimental and ambient and electronic and more. Arca's music, while I have a lot to say about it, is pretty indescribable. She brought vocals to the table on her self-titled album. She started putting out this weird post-reggaeton industrial deconstructed club on KiCk 1 and followed up with that pretty solidly on KiCk 2 with a lot of the same sound. Now, I will say this, leading up to these albums, what I realized about a lot of these singles was just how different a lot of them were, and specifically between the albums. KiCk 3 is very different than KiCk 2, and between you and me, I think it's the best one. This, my friends, all around, this is where it's at. This is where I want to hear Arca. This album starts off with Bruja, and this is freaking wild. This is much more along the lines of where I expected to hear these recordings. This has this intense, ridiculously sexualized verse. Arca has never been one to hold back. Between her album covers and her live shows, my God, she has never been one to hold back. But alongside that, we get this big, sweaty, industrial-sized beat, and it goes freaking hard. Not only that, but the second half of this track is very transcendent. It is haunting. It is otherworldly and absolutely Arca. Then we have Incendio, which is, much more disgusting, much more monolithic. It's also got a series of incredibly intense, hypnotic performances. Listen, there's a lot going on this track, even by Arca standards. A lot of her music is very hard to keep track of. This is even intense by her standards. But as always, the production is fantastic. The sound play, which is easily one of my favorite aspects of her music, is ridiculous. This is great. Of all of these new Arca projects, this is the one that is constantly shifting. This is the one that is constantly moving and trying new things. Take, for example, Morbo. It's tracks like this that also make this album the most exciting. This album, I think, what makes this project and this KiCk series so great is it's a great medium between this new path that Arca is going down and what made her interesting, so indescribable to begin with. It has the Latin flair of her newer material, the sort of reggaeton vibes, a lot of the Latin pop influences as well, but it also has the very twisted and tortured atmosphere of what made her so interesting to begin with. Fiera, on the other hand, is one of the more noisy and abrasive tracks on here. But when that big beat rolls around, my God, is it ever worth it? This is just, really, really hard to follow, but I mean that in the best way, in the kind of way that as soon as the track is over, I just want to start right back up again. It's gloriously bizarre, and it just continues to show you just how deep the world of Arca really is. And then we have Skullqueen, which, because my mind didn't need to get melted anymore, this track rolls around. This is Arca Goes Hyperpop, and it's as good as it sounds. It's intense, it is sweaty, it is wild, it is heady, it is good. It has a really captivating and surprisingly smooth transition to a sort of softer area as well. It touches down on areas that I didn't know that Arca could really grasp, but it's really good. I don't even know anymore when it comes to Electra Rex. It's rigid, it's rough around the edges, but it also has this otherworldly groove. And that beat is just so minuscule, it is so quiet, but it goes really hard. Another just really solid track. Now, I will say this album isn't all rainbows for me. There's a couple of issues that I have with it. Ripples is certainly one with them. This track is just kind of obnoxious and really annoying. I don't know who let the damn crazy frog into Arca's world, but it's just really obnoxious tune. And listen, Arca's dabbled in stuff like this before, but it's never come off as genuinely annoying as it does here. and you can forget all about progression. And Senorita, I don't know, man. I think this is the worst track here. The production here is just really not nice to listen to. It's just so flimsy. This sounds like an Arca ripoff. This sounds like any who's who of experimental music trying to be Arca. These vocals aren't doing anything for me either. This is rough. And My 2 is just really average. This absolutely has that sort of ghoulish atmosphere that I certainly love. But this is easily one of the most disjointed and unfocused tracks on this album. But of all the new albums from Arca, let me tell you, this is the one to listen to. This is the one to race to. Rubberneck is great. This sounds like a deep cut off of 9 Inch Nails. The Fragile went through the PC music treatment. It's heady, and it may be hard for you to keep track of, but you know what? I love it. It excites me. It's sleek. It's completely indescribable, and honestly, really makes me even more excited for what Arca has played in the future. Intimate Flesh is just so mysterious and otherworldly once again. I mean, this whole album has been pretty otherworldly, but this is next level. I love the hypnotic vocal lines and the serious use of vocal effects. This is awesome. I think it's probably my favorite track here. And that goes double for Joya. I feel like this has, I don't know, infinite corridors to investigate. It's whimsical, it's mysterious. Sounds like Arca did like a really good video game soundtrack. And as dark and bizarre and weird and mysterious as it is at times, it's also oddly joyous and at peace with itself. I don't know, man. Of all of these new projects that Arca just dropped, I think this is the one that you're going to want to listen to the most. It is a really great medium between where she's at right now and what made her so exciting to begin with. And that right there is something to celebrate. And no, it's not the most consistent album. There are some late track blips that kind of, I don't know, get on my nerve and really just annoy me more than anything. But honestly, overall, this is the best Arca project of the 4 she just dropped. I'm feeling a very decent 8 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.